You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Everybody else, can you guys hear me, see my screen?
Yes, Professor, I can see.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to continue with the fractions today. So last time we talked about, we introduced fractions and we introduced mixed numbers and simplifying fractions. Today we're going to continue with the fractions and we're going to learn how to multiply and divide fractions. Okay, and what we learned last time will definitely help us with this today. So let's start off with the multiplication. Basically, the way we multiply fractions is pretty simple. When you have a fraction times another fraction, let's say 1/5, we just basically multiply straight across the tops or the numerators together and the denominators together. So 2 times 1, 3 times 5, that's 2/15. Okay, and then you try to simplify your final answer as much as possible, as we did last time. Can we simplify this fraction, or is it already simplified?
I think, no?
That's right, we can't. Nothing goes into 215, so that's our final answer. Sometimes you may reduce something when you multiply fractions. For example, here we have 4 times 7, 5 times 7. 7 times 5. So before multiplying, always simplify first. It's convenient because you don't have to reduce at the end. You end up with, if you don't reduce, you will end up with a large fraction and you will have to simplify it anyway. So it's better to reduce first. If you look over here, for example, can we cancel something and reduce these two before multiplying? Can you guys speak up a little bit or get closer to your microphones?
No.
That's better.
No. both 7, I think.
That's right. We can cross out these 7s, reduce that, and we have 4 left here. 4 times an invisible 1, 1 here also invisible 1. In other words, you can say 7 into 7 once, 7 into 7 once. And we're going to multiply 4 on 1. Pretty much that's what's left. 1 times 5. So that's 4/5. You end up with a nice simplified fraction that you don't have to simplify. But if you do, this will be 28/35, and you're going to waste time anyway simplifying it. So it's better to first simplify it. That way you don't have to do it at the end. Here's another example where it's important to simplify. So let's say you have maybe 35 here. Probably 4 on this side.
Yeah, it can be now.
That's right. So now if you multiply it right away, you can end up with a large fraction. But it looks like we can cross out some few things. Start within each fraction first if possible. Nothing can cancel out here and here. If not, you can try to simplify this way and that way. Start with this, for example. Can we? Or what goes into 15 and 35?
5.
5, that's right. 5 into 15.
Yeah. And
3 times. 5 into 35.
7.
That's right, 7 times. Now we look at 8 and 4. What is the highest number that can go into both?
4.
4.
I think 4, yeah, go in 8.
That's right. 4 into 1 into 4 once.
2.
4 into 8 twice. That's right. See how easy it is now to just multiply 3 and 1. You can just do it right away. 3/14. And you're done. That's it. imagine if you had to multiply 15 on 4, you had to do that on the side, and then you multiply 8 by 35 on the side, and then simplify. It will take you a long time. So always simplify first. So simplify fractions first before multiplying. Okay, that's important for the obvious reason, as I showed you here. Sometimes you may have, let's say, 5 times, let's say, 2 over 10. Or just maybe 3 over 10. We have a whole number, multiply fraction. What do you think we do here?
We put 1 down the 5.
That's right. We need to turn both of them into fractions. This one is not a fraction, so we're going to put it over 1. This one is already a fraction. Okay, once we have 2 fractions, we can go ahead and multiply 5 times 3, 1 times 10. You can try to simplify. Maybe we should have simplified first. Let's go back. As you can see, we can simplify here by?
Yeah, have 1 and 2.
That's right. 5 into 5 once, 5 into 10 twice. And you can go ahead and do 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. What kind of fraction is this, by the way?
Become like mixed number.
That's right. This is an improper. We can make it a mixed number. So 2 into 3, how many times?
1.
1 time. That's right. 2. 2 into 3 once. What's left from 3?
1.
Okay, so this is what we did last time. We learned how to convert back and forth between these. So that's important. So when you have mixed numbers or improper fractions, it is a good idea to turn those into mixed numbers like this. Okay, so that's what happens when you have a whole number times fraction. What if you have, let's say, a mixed number, and we want to times that by a fraction, a mixed number and a fraction? How do you multiply those?
We do the fraction first.
Okay, you mean we need to convert this into a fraction, right?
Yeah,
All
convert the mix to fraction.
That's right. How do you do this? How do you do that?
Multiply 3 times 2 plus 1.
That's right. 2 times 3 plus 1, that's 7. And the denominator
3.
stays the same. That's right. 3 times 1/5. Always convert, if you have different numbers, convert those into the same type of number, usually a fraction. And from there, we already know what to do. Try to reduce again if possible. Doesn't look like there's anything common, so we're going to go ahead and multiply 7 times 1, that's 7. 3 times 5, that's 15. And that's our final answer. It's proper, it's reduced, nothing else needs to be done. You may even have, let's do one more example. You may have 2 mixed numbers, let's say 1 and 2/3, let's say multiply 4 and 1/2. Same thing here, we have 2 mixed numbers. Turn them into fractions like these first, then straight across, or simplify first. So 1 times 3 plus 2, that's 5 over 3, times 4 times 2 plus 1, 9 over 2. Can we reduce anything here before multiplying?
Yes. 9.
That's right. So
1, 3, 1, and 3.
That's right. So 3 goes into both, once here, 3 times. And finally, multiply your numbers. That's 15 over 2, which you're going to write as a mixed number. What is the mixed number?
2
What is it? 2 into
7 whole 7 whole 7.
Mm-hmm.
1 1.5.
Very good. So 2 into 15, 7. 2 stays the same here. 2 into 15, 7. That's 14. The remainder from here is 1. Okay, so that's pretty much how you multiply your mixed numbers or fractions or whole numbers. Turn everything into fractions first, then before you multiply straight across, before you do this, make sure you simplify. If you don't simplify, you're just gonna give yourself more work and more hard time. So instead, you simplify, you can see here, you can do that quickly in one step. That's pretty much the multiplication. Now let's see how to do the division. Division is just one step more than a multiplication. So we're gonna do one step, then we're gonna repeat the same thing here with the division. So number 2. So in general, if you have something like this, 3 over 2, for example, divided by 5 over 7. So you want to turn this division first into a multiplication. Turn the division to a multiplication and then pretty much repeat the same thing here. All we have done so far applies. So we do what we call keep, change, and what else?
Keep, change.
What's the third one?
I don't know.
Okay, it's flip.
Oh, flip.
Okay, so basically,
We
keep the
put
first one.
2 up and 3 down.
No, the first one doesn't change. We keep this one, keep, change this one, and we flip that one. So 3 over 2, multiply 5 over 7. We flip it, we get the reciprocal, which is 7 over 5. Now that we have a multiplication, all that we have learned here applies to this. So you can do the exact same thing. First, try to reduce if possible. If not, you can go ahead and multiply straight across. There is no cross multiplication. So forget about cross multiplication. We only have straight across multiplication, not cross multiplication. Nothing to multiply, so it's going to be 21 over 10. And again, this is an improper fraction. 10 into 21, how many times?
2.
That's right, 10 into 21 twice. We have 10 here. What's left?
1.
1. And that's pretty much how you do division. Just that extra step, this extra step of keep, change, flip. And we repeat the same steps as the multiplication. Everybody else, you guys all right? Didn't hear from all of you. Ashley exists, Kimberly, Liz, Stephanie.
How did the 21?
One division.
No, I did the 2.
You can repeat, please, one more time. Division.
Oh, I'm sorry, speak one at a time, repeat that. Go ahead, Liz, first.
Yeah, thank you, teacher. You can repeat one more time, please, and you understand more.
Which one? The last one?
Yeah, division.
Division, okay, I'm gonna do more example of division. Ashley, you all right?
It's the 2 and 1/10. Where did the 2 come from? I got a little bit lost there.
This last example? Oh, the 2 here?
Yes. That one.
So because 10 goes into 21 twice. 10.
Oh, okay.
We convert improper into mixed number, right?
Okay.
Kim?
You said there's no cross multiplying. So there's another way to do the division. If we leave it as 5/7, you can multiply the top by the denominator by the numerator.
Yeah, I don't recommend that you do this like that because you want to try to simplify first. So when you flip it, gives you a chance to possibly.
So you just made 20 years worth of school that much easier, Frank. Thank you.
No problem. I see people a lot of times don't know what to do, cross multiply or straight cross, whatever. So I try to eliminate the confusion, just keep it consistent. Just multiply all the time. Just straight across multiplication. Turn your divisions into multiplications. So forget about cross multiplication. Every time, if you have a division,
Oh, I just
turn it into this and multiply straight across. I'm gonna do a couple more examples here.
okay.
That's smart, actually. You smart.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, that's the best explanation I got ever. Thank you.
No problem. That's what I try to do all the time. Try to find the easiest and the shortest ways, less confused. And with experience, I learn from students what ways they don't like, what ways they like. So try to use the easiest ones and be consistent. So let's look at another one here.
Okay, thank you.
Let's say we have 4/3. You want to divide that by 4/5, for example. So again, whenever you see a multiplication, division, you want to do this, keep, change, flip. This turns into what? Keep, change, flip.
Stays the same.
The, yeah.
Mhm.
The quarter.
Multiply
Multiply 5/4.
5/4. This point again, all this applies. Everything we learned before. And before multiplying fractions again, you try to
Simplify.
Simplify
try to simplify. What do you think cancels out in these?
the 4s.
Fours, that's right. 4 into 4 once, 4 into 4 once. And that's it. Just multiply the rest or what's left of the numbers. You have 1 times 5. You have 3 times 1. It's basically just 5/3. That's your answer. If you end up, you don't have to simplify it like you see here because we simplified before things got complex or bigger.
But
This
you
is an
should-
improper fraction. We
right?
can write it as
1.
3 into 5 once.
2/3.
That's right. Bring the 3 over. 3 goes into 5 once. And what's left from 5 is 2. The 2 goes here. 1 and 2/3 is the answer. And pretty much repeat the same process every time. So these are fractions here. Fractions. Let's see how to deal with mixed numbers. Let's say if you have a mixed number somewhere in there. Let's say we have 1/3. And you want to divide that by maybe probably just a number, say 2, maybe 14 here. Okay, so we have 2 different types of numbers. We have a mixed number, a whole number. What do you think we need to do first?
We multiply to convert the mixed number to a improper,
That's right. Convert the mixed number into a fraction. And
and then put 1 down the 14.
that's right. You're going to put this over. So before we do the keep, change, flip, we need to have something to keep, change, flip. So we're going to turn these two, both of them, into something like this, fractions. Once we do that, we'll repeat the same thing. So again, to convert mixed number into fraction, times these two, add 1. 2 times 3 plus 1, that's 7.
7/3.
That's right. We're not flipping yet. We're still keeping the division until we turn everything into fractions. Again, this one we just add 1 bottom to make it fraction. Good, so now it looks like this. So we're going to repeat the same process here. So now that's when you do keep, change, flip. That would be
7/3 times 1 over 14.
That's right. Only flip the second one, turn the division into a multiplication. Now that we have a multiplication, again, it's always straight across. But before that, attempt to simplify whenever possible. And we reduce this to 7, right? We have 7 here, we have 7 here. We can cross those out. So 7 into 7. 1 time. 7 into 14. be twice. 7 into 14 would be twice here. And just gonna multiply your smaller numbers now. 1 times 1, that's 1. 3 times 2, that's 6. And pretty much done, okay? So if you see this, just remember what to do. So convert into fractions, keep change flip, and multiply. And before multiplying again, try to simplify. That way you don't have to simplify at the end. You don't end up with some large fractions. Okay, so that's pretty much the division of mixed numbers. You may even have 2 mixed numbers. This time 2 mixed numbers. Maybe 1 2/5 divide 2, for example, and 1/3. So division between two mixed numbers. Before we do the keep change flip, we need to have fractions.
Mhm.
So what is the first step again?
So convert to a fraction.
Right, so we're going to convert both of these into fractions. 1 times 5 plus 2, that's 7 over 5. It's still a division, don't change yet. We need to change it into fractions, so it's 7 over
7, 14.
3. Now we have 2 fractions. We can do keep change flip. Be 7 over 5,
7
multiply.
multiply 7 or 3 or 7. 7.
That's right.
Right.
What else?
Oh.
Get a little closer to the mic. Get a little closer.
7
A little
times
louder.
1.
7 is 1. No?
That's right. Cross this and this. So we have 1, 1.
1.
And
3,
result 3.
3, and 5.
That's right. 1 times 3, 5 times 1. It's a proper fraction. As you can see, it's reduced. No need to reduce. No need to write it as a mixed number because it's proper. And pretty much that's how the division works. You may also see any questions before we do another section? Any questions, everybody?
No.
Okay, so now let's do some order of operations with these. So sometimes you see them combined, division and multiplication together. That would be number 3. So multiplication or order of operations. With order of operations with multiplication and division. So let's mix things up now. 2/3. Let's say divide 1/4, multiply 7 or 5 over 7. See, we combine both together now. It doesn't have to look confusing. It's pretty simple. We're basically going to combine the order of operations we learned before, PEMDAS, along with what we've just learned. So when you have more than one operation in an expression, you want to first figure out what to do first. So according to the order of operations that we learned a few classes ago, which operation of the two is done first?
Multiplication.
You would normally, that's what we do, but when we did the order operations, we learned something. We learned that there we can do, but we need to do it in a different way.
In order that they are, because
that's right, left to right, whichever one appears first. So left to right. Left
to right. Okay.
Same thing here. With these two, also left to right. So we're going to do division before the multiplication. And we already know how to do division. So how do you do that?
We flip with 2 over 3.
That's right, 2 over 3. Times
4 over 1.
That's right. You can bring this one down here.
Yeah, times 5 over 7.
That's right. So now we have two multiplications. There's two ways we can do this. You can multiply all at the same time.
Yeah.
Try to simplify if you see anything you can simplify, or you can continue with this one first, finish it up, and then bring this one down. But let's continue with this one. So we started here. Let's just maybe continue here.
2
2
times
times
4,
8,
8.
3.
3 times 5, 7.
Mhm.
Over 7.
And this will be
So it will be
nothing to
40,
reduce. That's right, 40.
21.
Yeah, 21. Okay, nothing to reduce, 40, 21. That's obviously an improper fraction.
Mhm.
So let's turn that in.
So I think it's 1.
Let's say 21, 21. It's 42, right? That's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's
There's one
1.
fraction, same denominator. Now let's see what's left. This goes into this once. Let's see what's left. So 40, take away 21. Cross this out, borrow 1, 10, take away 1 is 9, 3, take away 2 is 1. So the remainder
19.
is 19. So again, we talked about this conversion last time in detail, and that's our final answer. You see order of operation with a bunch of fractions. It's pretty simple. Apply the order of operations and apply the rules of addition, of multiplication and division that we just learned. It might be more operations, for example, addition here or subtraction, but we're going to learn that in the next class.
Okay.
Here is another here's another example. So 104 divided, let's say 205, multiply 1/3. Again, the order of operations, a bunch of fractions. So again, think about the order of operations and where do you think we start from?
Parentheses first.
That's right. So right now, in this example, we have parentheses. So we're not doing division first, obviously. So the parentheses have priority. So we're going to do this first before the division. And of course, when you multiply, bring this one down for now. Multiply straight across, unless you can simplify something from here or from here.
Nothing to simplify.
That's right.
True.
Okay. Now we're down to just division. Again, keep change flip. 1/4.
15 over 2.
2.
That's right. Finally, the multiplication is always straight across. Nothing to multiply to simplify, so it's 15
15 over 8.
8.
over 8. What is it as a mixed number?
Yeah. So
No.
1.
Okay.
1 and
8 here, same number. What's the remainder from 15? 8 into 15 once, and
7, 8.
7.
7.
Exactly, 7 eighths. 1 and 7 eighths. And that's your final answer. Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty much all there is to it. There's no reason to skip this in an exam or panic when you see it. Just know your couple of steps and you're good to go. And this, if you see a mixed number in there or a whole number, just convert it, as we saw before, convert that into fraction and simplify it. Any questions, everybody?
No.
I'm good for now.
Okay. Let's see how to do some word problems now involving this kind of stuff. Word problems.
Could you hear me? Could I ask you, could you do another one? Or I'm just getting just toned out.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay, let's do that. Let's say you have, let's mix things up a little bit here. So you have 3 times 2 1/4 divide by 2/5. Okay, a bunch of different numbers, 2 operations. What do you think you want to do first?
Convert the mixed number.
That's right. So we're going to turn all of these into fractions before everything. So 3 can be turned into
3 and 1 down,
over 1. That's right.
times 4, 9, 4, 9,
4,
Times 4 plus 1, 9 over.
9 over 4,
4,
divided 2 over 5.
Very good. So now it looks like this one here. Something like that. So we're going to apply the order of operations again to simplify. In this case, which one is done first?
Multiplication.
That's right. The first one, always left to right. So we're going to evaluate the multiplication first before the division.
So 3 times 9, 27.
That's right. Nothing to simplify. 3 times 9, 27 over 4.
Over 4.
Divide.
Divided 2 over 5. So now we flip.
Okay, now we flip to change flip. So 27
27 over 4 times
Right.
5 over 2.
That's right. Flip this one, and before multiplying, let's see if we can make things a little simpler. Can we reduce anything here?
27 doesn't have
That's right. 27. 2 doesn't go into 27.
Mm.
Nothing here, so we'll have to do the multiplication anyway. So in this case, we're forced to do it. It's not a problem. So we're going to have to do it on the side. So we're going to have
So
to.
I think it's 85.
Probably, that's right. So this is the reason why we simplify first, because we don't want to go through this. Here we can't do it, so that's why we have to do it. But if we could simplify, you can avoid all this. So 5 times 3, that's 5 times 7, that's 35,
35.
right? So
3.
100.
Oh no, it's more. It's 100.
135.
Yeah.
that's right, 105.
Mhm.
And the other one, luckily is
8.
135.
135.
135. Yeah.
Okay, 5 times 2, 10, 13.
Oh yeah, 130. Because
Okay.
with 3 is 13.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me fix that. And that's basically it. We can try to turn this into a mixed number.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're basically going to see how many times does 8 go into 135. So we're going to do the division.
Mhm.
We're going to divide 8 into 135. So 8 into 135, we could just do 8 into this.
Mhm.
8 into 13, how many times?
1.
That's right, 1 times 8. Subtract, you have 5 left. Right, 5. And we can bring this 5 down.
5.
Now we can do 8 into 55. How many times is that?
7.
Okay, 8 times 6 is 48, right? 8 times 7 is 56. So it's
No,
not,
no, no, no.
Minus
not quite
5.
7.
6.
6.
6.
6 times 8, 48.
48.
What's the remainder here?
So 15.
7, right?
7.
7.
Yeah, 7 and
That's it.
0.
All right, so now this is our remainder. Now, what is this as a mixed number? 8 into 135, how many times?
16.
16. Fraction always same, the denominator. What goes here?
7.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
denominator here, this remainder goes into the numerator.
7.
So pretty much, I'm sorry,
That's 7.
7. This 7 goes here.
Yeah.
So you can see, so we pretty much applied all we've learned so far. We've learned the multiplication and division on the first day, so multiplication and division. Then we mixed numbers, improper fractions, multiplication. So everything you're learning now in the class, we apply it. It helps us basically solve problems in the next class and so on. All right, so let's do a couple of word problems now using these. So when you see word problems involving mixed numbers or fractions, so there's no reason to panic or to get confused. You already know how to do these. You just need to read the problem and figure out what to do, whether multiply or divide or whatever the operation might be. Once you figure out the operation, then follow the steps of what we've been doing here, basically, all this stuff, and solve the problem. Let's see if we can, let me write a couple of problems here. Let's say if you buy 4 1/3 pounds of a fruit. For, let's say, $5 per pound, how much so how much money will you spend? So again, it's a word problem. Don't worry about the numbers. Think about what operations is needed. So you buy 4 1/3 pounds of a fruit, but each pound costs you $5. And we want to find the total, how much money in total you want to pay for all these pounds. What is the operation that comes to mind?
Multiply.
That's right, multiply. So don't worry about the numbers yet. Just think of the operation. So we're going to take our numbers. So 4 pounds times each pound for $5. And that brings us to one of these problems, something like this, or particularly something like we've done earlier here, all these problems. Okay, so what is the first thing you want to do here? Again, we're going to convert this into 13 over 3 times 5 over,
One.
right?
Don't change. No, it's a one. No?
5 over 1. And now here, try to simplify if possible. Can we simplify?
No.
That's right, can't simplify. Let's go ahead and multiply. So 13 times 5 over 5, or 3 times 1. Again, do your math on the side. 13 times 5. Everything has to be manual, you know, because we don't use calculators or phones in this class. So 5 times 3, 15. 5 times 1 plus 1, 6. So you get 65 over 3. And let's turn this into a mixed number, because this will be about money. So how much money? It's got to be like a mixed number. For example, $2 and some change, $5 and some change. You can't just leave it like this. So we're going to turn it into a mixed number. How many times do you think 3 goes into 65? A bunch of times. So let's do the division. So 3 into 65. Let's start with 3 into 6 first, before we do the whole thing. 3 into 6. That's right. That's right. 2 times 3, 6. Subtract these two, 0. Bring down the 5. Now, 3 into 5.
1.
1 time. 1 times 3. Oops.
3.
Something is wrong here. Something around on my screen. Let me see if I can see. That's right. 1 times 3 is 3. Minus, you have 2 left. Okay, so Oops. Okay, so what's the result now? This is a remainder.
$21.50.
That's right, $21 and some change. What's that change? 2 over 3.
Mhm.
Same denominator goes here. The remainder is 2. 2/3 is like 66 cents. 2 over 3 is like 66 cents. So you know, you have a better idea now. You say, oh, it's $21 and some change. Instead of this, which doesn't make a lot of sense, 65 over $3. Not a whole lot of sense, but mixed numbers make more sense. Again, this is approximately 21.33. We're going to talk about decimals in another class in detail. So for now,
Ay, ya me mareé.
okay, we'll talk about decimals in detail. 66, right?
Ujú.
Yeah, I was saying 66 and the writing 33. No way.
Ok.
Okay, 21.66 is how much you will pay for 4 pounds of fruits at this rate of $5 per pound. Okay, that's one problem. Let's see if we can make up another one. Carpenter uses wood. Let's say uses, let's say, 5.5 feet of wood to make, let's say, a cotton board, for example. A cotton. Make a cotton board.
Mm.
So if they have, to be politically correct, if they have, let's say, 18 and 2/5, that's too much. Maybe 18 and 1/2, or 1/3 of wood. How many cutting boards can they make? Okay, so you have a bunch of wood, a whole piece this big, and we want to make some cutting boards, like kitchen cutting boards out of that. Each cutting board will take us this much. We'll take the carpenter 5.5 feet of wood. If they have 18.5 feet, 18 and 1/3 feet of wood, how many cardboards can they make from that? Again, first thing you do is not think about the answer. We don't want the answer. We want the operation first. Once you figure out the operation, then you do the math to find the answer. Don't try to do the math in your head. Although sometimes it can be convenient and fast, but for now, we want to do everything step by step. What do you think the operation is here?
Division.
Division, that's right. Divide what by what exactly?
18 and 1/3 feet divided by 5.5 feet.
Exactly. So you have your whole piece. That's the bigger piece. We want to divide it into divided by these smaller pieces of cardboard. 18 divide 5 and 1/2. Okay, so whenever you see problems like these with these numbers that may scare you, don't worry about the numbers. Think about what operation do I need to do. Once you figure it out, you already know how to do the operations. So again, we're going to repeat the same story here. convert. Okay, convert everything into fractions. What is this? It is 54 plus 1, 56. Still a division. To convert this one, that's 11/2. Finally, what is the next step?
Change.
That's right, keep change flip to 11. And try to reduce here. Can we reduce anything here? Nothing can reduce, right? Nothing goes into 11 and 56. This is a prime number. It doesn't go into this, so it stays the same. 56 times 2 would be 112. And 3 times 11 is 33. You can also always do the operations on the side. You already know how to do that. And we started with mixed numbers. So we don't know how many cardboard this is. What do we do now to know how many cardboards? Cotton boards.
Division.
Division, that's right. This doesn't make sense, but if you have a mixed number, you would say 5 and this or 7 and that. Let's do the division here on the side again. 3, 33, 112. How many times do you think 33 goes into 12?
So the 3 and the 33 times 3 is 9. So 99. So that's gonna be 3. Yeah.
That's right, at least 3 times. If we add 1 here, it's gonna go over 112, right? So only 3 times. So if we add another 33, it's gonna go over, so it's just 3 times. 3 times 33, that's 99. Subtract. What is the, you subtract here, what do you get? Borrow 1 from here would be 0. Would be 12. 12 take away 9. 3. Then 0 minus 9. Can't do, so we're gonna borrow the 1 from here. This turns into 0.
10.
So 10 take away 9, which is 1. And what is a mixed number now?
Whole 99. Whole.
$3, 3 feet,
Uh-huh.
and 13.
13 over
13 over 33.
33, exactly. So this is again the number, how many cardboards. So that's what we needed. So we have 3 cardboards and some wood left. The 3 cotton boards. Okay, 3 cotton boards, that's the important part. This change doesn't matter, just some scraps and some wood chips and stuff like that. And that's pretty much your multiplication and division of not just fractions, but whole numbers, mixed numbers. Again, just remember the 2 or 3 steps for each thing. Nothing is complex. Once you know the rules, you know the steps, you're pretty much good at math. That, of course, comes with some practice. It's not, something you learn overnight. It will take you some practice. That's what the homework is for. So you gotta find plenty of these in the homework. Practice those and let me know if you have any questions about it.